Good day, children. My name is Graham Klein. I am the most formidable Lord and Master of the Encyclopedia Britannica, and today I am going to be educating you about one of the least interesting subjects in all of world history, the American Civil War. This war began when several southern states decided that they would do exactly what the 13 colonies did in 1776. They became dissatisfied with their government, and so they seceded from the Union and formed a new nation built on the principles that states had rights, but black people don't. Please be advised that this telecast is a registered trademark of Vandelay Industries, and it may not be reproduced in any way without express written consent from Vandelay Industries or their subsidiaries. Here we are. It all began when Congress passed bills such as the Tariff of 1828, which were greatly beneficial to the North, but incredibly harmful to the South. This prompted many Southern politicians like John C. Calhoun to argue that the Constitution granted states the power to ignore federal laws that they did not approve of or felt were unconstitutional. This idea of nullification became a hotly debated issue, even prompting an actual fistfight between two congressmen. The theory of states' rights became increasingly important to Southern states as more Northern politicians began to support the abolition of slavery, on the shoulders of which rested the entire agrarian economy of the South. Things finally reached a boiling point in 1860, when Abraham
Things that make you go,
Papa John's Garlic Parmesan Breadsticks. Taste them, dip them, tear them, and share them. Because get this, they're free. Get an order of 8 fresh-baked Garlic Parmesan Breadsticks free when you order a large one-topping pizza for just $11.99. Buy a large one-topping pizza, get an order of Garlic Parmesan Breadsticks free. Call or order online.
Taste the difference. Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's.
things that make you go,
Abraham Lincoln, who opposed the practice of slavery, was elected President of the United States of America. This prompted Southerners to argue that the states had the right to leave the Union if they wished to, and so, on December 20th, 1860, South Carolina announced its secession from the United States, and over the course of the next year it was followed by 12 other states, who eventually united to form the Confederate States of America, a new country, which placed its capital in Montgomery, Alabama, and later in Richmond, Virginia, and whose president was
Jefferson Davis.
The Confederate government demanded that the United States evacuate all of their military bases in the South. However, the upstart Major Robert Anderson refused to remove his garrison from Fort Sumter in Charleston Harbor, saying, "Do you think I'll leave just because you send me a letter telling me to? How about you come here in person and make me?" To which Confederate General Pierre Beauregard responded, "You want me to fight you IRL? Bro, do you even lift?" Beauregard's forces attacked Fort Sumter and forced Anderson to surrender. The North and South were now at war. Although the Battle of Fort Sumter marked the beginning of the Civil War, what is widely considered to be the first major battle is that of Bull Run, or as the rednecks call it, First Manassas. This battle began when Irvin McDowell led a surprise attack on the Confederate forces led by Pierre Beauregard, the same General Pierre Beauregard who led the attack on Fort Sumter months earlier. Although this attack initially left Beauregard at a disadvantage, the Confederate commander Thomas Jackson managed to hold his ground in time for the reinforcements to arrive and turn the tide of the battle. This earned him the nickname Stonewall Jackson. He went on to become one of the most famous Southern generals, and one of the most famous generals in all of American history. This was followed by numerous other glorious bloodbaths, some won by the North and others by the South. Although the Union had the upper hand in almost every area, and would most certainly have won the war in a month if it were not for the great skill of Confederate commanders, and the incompetence of their own. On many occasions, Union forces were defeated by numerically inferior rabbles of Southern hillfolk due to poor leadership. The Union Navy managed to blockade Southern ports, preventing vital shipments from arriving. This led to shortages of food, clothing, arms, and munitions, which were detrimental to the Confederate war effort, and allowed capitalists like Wilmer McLean to buy dry goods such as sugar in the North, then bring them south to resell at ridiculous markups. The war was long and violent, and on the morning of April 9, 1865, after the Battle of Appomattox Courthouse, Confederate General Robert E. Lee officially surrendered to Union General Ulysses S. Grant, the same Grant that went on to become president and is on the $50 bill, y'all. This marked the end of the Civil War. Only 5 days after this, President Abraham Lincoln was assassinated by the actor John Wilkes Booth, who famously shouted the phrase, "Sic semper tyrannis," which translated into English means, "and always to tyrants."
That's like the most educated Southerner ever.
Fuck you, the cameraman's not supposed to talk! Just as Marcus Brutus supposedly did when he and his co-conspirators assassinated Julius Caesar. Even after Lincoln's death, his legacy lived on. He is still remembered fondly today for his great speeches like the Gettysburg Address, and great acts like the Emancipation Proclamation. Movies like Lincoln and Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter have been made to commemorate his life and his careers in politics and fighting the forces of darkness. And even without Lincoln, the so-called Reconstruction of the South managed to continue. The 13th Amendment was passed, abolishing American slavery once and for all. It was followed by 2 other amendments, ensuring the rights of suffrage and due process, among others, to all men, be they black or white. The Civil War is still remembered today as well. It is referenced often in popular culture. For example, in the classic real-time strategy game StarCraft, one of the antagonists in the first campaign is the Terran Confederacy, whose capital is named New Gettysburg after the famous battle. The Confederate flag is still a symbol of Southern pride as well, and can often be seen alongside cow skulls adorning pickup trucks, driven by shirtless hillbillies sporting well-equipped tack mullets, chewing tobacco, and insisting that the South will rise again. Now, Mr. Clifford has asked me to be non-traditional, and we appear to still have a few minutes left over, so for the remaining time, I ask that you please enjoy a Russian metal concert. Pylons are screwed. Are you still there? Would have assumed Mr. Clifford would have turned this off by now. You know, you can do that now.